Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Alright, in this video, we're gonna discuss about which are the limited characters that you want to try to obtain if you are a new player, if you are a returning player, if you are a veteran player. Hopefully give you guys a little bit of idea and also a perspective as someone that's been playing the game since day one, right? So I just want to be straight up honest with you guys. Obviously, if you are pulling, for the L to D, you want to put it in the background, just get one copy. Alright, that's going to be the most important factor. If that's what you are here for, obviously get one copy. But if we're talking about discussion right here, we're trying to compare who is going to be better for you to get more copies of, right? Both LOEN or Eclipse, or in the future Celia. So I'll be focusing on these few characters. Bunny LOEN right here. Also we got Bunny Eclipse right here. And if you guys are not aware, later on, not right now, but as you can see, December 26th, we will have the Masquerade Bunny Celia. She's also going to be a limited. She will be rerunning as well. So I'm going to compare all three of these characters and give you guys a better idea on who has the better value if you're looking to like get one of them all the way to +5. Let's just get Bunny Celia out of the way first. Alright, and we're gonna talk about what she can do in the game because she is coming later. Now the reason why I want to get her out of the way first is because she has the least priority. Alright, let's just be honest. In terms of what she can do, so what is she capable of? What is Bunny Celia capable of? You can see right here. She is a character that for 4 turns each attack stacks an additional 1 chain. Very, very good. Alright, so attack the enemy 3 times. Each attack deals damage, blah blah blah. So you can see she is going to be quite unique. She's a chain stacker and she is going to be able to help you in terms of doing chain damage or increasing your chain. But there's one more character that ever since she was released, one more character can do that, and that character is in the standard banner, and that's going to be the Bright Rafitia. So again, we're gonna screenshot this so we can compare. Where is Bright Rafitia, right? Rafitia is her banner just was just last week, right? This particular one. So as you can see, this one is even better. Alright, so it is straight up just a better costume. She does way more in terms of supportive power, right? So let's see what Rafitia can do, right? This is at plus. So if we max this out, so you can see this is 2 SP. Celia is 3 SP. Okay, so for 2 turns, increase property damage by 100%. Alright, and then also each attack stacks an additional 1 chain. So that part is same here, right? For 4 turns, each attack stacks an additional 1 chain. It doesn't matter because this cooldown time is 5 turns for Celia, whereas for Rafitia this is 1 turn, so she can spam this every single turn, right? She also creates an energy guard based on 50% of the target's max HP for 2 turns, whereas Celia increase chain and stack damage. So Rafitia is like a better version of Celia in my humble opinion. She's in standard banner, she can give you energy guard, she also gives you property damage. And she also do what Celia does. Celia's damage is really, really low, right? This one is like 3 times, it's not really that much. You can stack a little bit of chain there, but it's really not needed, right? Ideally, Bright Rafitia is just the better character. I honestly don't see the value in going for Celia. Now sure, you could argue that, sometimes in the game you need 2 teams, right? So in the first team you put Rafitia, the second team you put Celia, just to stack a bunch of chain, right? On both teams, so you either don't want to use them together or because I don't think it works if you are stacking, right? But the concept over there is I would say pretty decent, and I think she's a strong character, but the problem is there's like a alternative to her in the standard banner. So her value sort of like, it's not as enticing compared to the other two, right? The other two is like, I would feel like at least for, especially Eclipse in my opinion, is more enticing. So let's talk about the other two right now. Alright, so that's my opinion on Bunny Celia. I feel like she's probably the least valued out of the 3. Not to say that she's bad, not to say that she's useless, but it's just, if I could pick one of the 3, I would probably not choose to maximize my Bunny Celia. I would either go for Eclipse and LOEN, to be honest. Now let's talk about LOEN and Eclipse. So first up, we're gonna talk about Bunny LOEN. She is the latest character currently, right now. This is going to be the particular one. First things first, very expensive. SP cost, 6 cost, really high, right? Obviously, she is going to be very expensive. And also, you can see this is the other LOEN costume, right? This one is 5 cost. This one does 650% attack. Alright, whereas this one is like, this one is very conditional. Yeah, sure, this one has higher ceiling. If you hit more enemies, alright, you can see you get more damage, right? So additional increase per target being attacked. The problem is that condition might not always be fulfilled, right? Because like sometimes what if there's only 3 enemies? Now in that case, this costume is just better, right? So it's like the only situation where this one is going to be better. Actually no, 3 enemies, I think this one. Yeah, so it's like it really depends, right? And plus you also need you also are going to need a high plus of this particular costume. Now if you already have this particular costume at +5, right, 750%. Let's say you already have the default LOEN at +5. This particular one, if you can only get her to +1, alright, which is like not that high of a percentage, alright, because at +1 you only reduce her SP. So she is going to be less used. Why would you use her over this one that you have that's +5? Logically, right? Because this is assuming you have. Now if you don't have the other costume, sure, right? But this particular LOEN, the Descending Inferno, it is in the standard banner, and you probably will eventually get her up. Right, the problem with the limited costume, alright, the big problem with this limited costume is like, if you don't +5 her right now, you only +2 her, you have to wait 1 whole year, you have to wait next year for them to rerun, right? So I wouldn't say they are useless, right? Like I said, if you unlock it for the background, that's fine. But if you just get them up to +1 or +2, you might not get them to the fullest potential. Now in that case, you might as well just use this other costume. Again, there's nothing that this costume has that the other costume, that this particular default costume can't do if this is maximized at +5, right? This one also has very big tower range as well if you potentially liberate this, right? Again, honestly, both are going to be a damage dealing costume. There's nothing that this Bunny LOEN costume is going to do in terms of like, it's not like unique, right? It's just a damage. You know, the more character you hit, the more damage you do. That being said, however, this is probably right now, I've tested it in my, you can check out my previous video. I think YouTube tries to remove that video. I'm not sure if it's still there. Let me know if you're still there, right? I've been trying to fight YouTube for the... Man, they've been saying, you know, you cannot put this, this is too much for kids or whatever. Like, oh my god, I've been dealing with this so much. There's so much back and forth. I have to re-upload constantly. But anyways, I feel like... What was I saying? Oh man, I was bitching about YouTube, and then I lost my thought process right there. I was going to say something very important. Yeah, so the value of this, you know, like I said, you know, it's going to depend on if you can +5 her. If you can +5 her, she's going to be one of the strongest AoE damage dealer right now. Alright, so not gonna lie, Bunny LOEN is very high ceiling, very high potential. I tested in the previous video. You can see right here, okay? So she can do this amount of insane damage. She compares very strong to the Wind Dancer Venaka, you know, but my Wind Dancer Venaka is fully potential liberated, but my Bunny LOEN is not. So that's going to be how it is. The truth is, while this is going to be a thing that you want to consider, right? She's going to be the strongest fire magic DPS, right? We still got fire physical DPS, which I think is going to, right now, if I have to guess, it's going to be mid Anastasia, right? Sorry, mid Leatrice. I think that's going to be the one. So it's still one element, right? It's still going to be fire. So if you guys are not aware how the game works, is for DPS characters, you want to have multitude of different types, right? So every single 2 to 3 weeks, we're gonna have a new season of Fiend Hunter bosses, and the boss is going to always be weak towards certain element. So right now, the boss haven't opened yet, but you can see Talos is a wind elemental boss. Alright, it's a wind elemental boss, weak against fire. Alright, but you know, the previous season was weak against wind, and then next season is going to weak against light or dark, or depending on how it goes, right? So we got fire, we got water, we got wind, we got light, we got dark. There's 5 different elements. So LOEN is, while she is one of the strongest AoE DPS right now, she's probably only going to be used in a fire situation, alright? A fire advantage situation, where if the enemy is wind, you use her, she's gonna do a lot of damage. Now, if you are looking for her to carry you in PvE scenario, sure, I can see that as a case as well. So yeah, she is going to be that. The truth is, not gonna lie, the problem is also her cooldown. Alright, I think that's going to be one of the bigger issue, right? I feel like will that be an issue for a advanced or veteran player? Probably not, right? If you are a veteran player, you probably know how to set it up to try to like maximize her potential. But I can see if you are a new player, what is happening here is she has this cooldown time of 9 turns. 9 turns is a very long time, right? You gotta wait quite a number of time. So this other one only is 3 turns. So this one is still much more spammable. Alright, you can spam the other 2. I think this one is also quite spammable if you max potential liberate, but not this one. Alright, this one is like I just wish they would reduce it to 7 or 5 turns, but 9 turns is just insane, man. You can only use this like probably once or twice per battle if you're lucky, right? But that's the truth. So comparing her to Bunny Eclipse, I feel like Bunny Eclipse has a higher value. Alright, let's be honest, Eclipse is really unique. As someone that managed to plus 5 her last year, I feel like she is probably going to be my recommendation out of these 3. Now, Eclipse is going to be very unique. So her damage is less than Bunny LOEN. So let's show you guys, right? You can see I tested hitting the same amount of enemies. So with the Celebrity Bunny LOEN, we got 1.1 million. And Eclipse was... Oh, did I not save the damage? Wait, I thought I managed to save the damage. Give me a moment. I need to see if I can find back this screenshot. Okay, I forgot to screenshot it earlier, so let's just do the quick testing right now so you guys can see the side by side. So we're gonna use Rue. The reason why we use Rue is because we want the 100% crit rate, right? So Helena and Rue, so that way it's more fair. So I'm gonna push this whoever this is to the side, and then Eclipse can go in right here. So that we're gonna hit skip tile and we will hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies. Same amount with how much LOEN was able to hit, right? So just to give you guys an idea. Okay. Now again, the testing is not perfect, but this is the best. Okay, why did I position her in the middle? No, not to the middle. To the left. Okay. Boom, boom, okay, and bam, bam, bam. Okay, so how much damage did she do? Now, by the way, there's no elemental advantage whatsoever. The enemy is a dark type, so in case you guys are wondering, right? So you can see she is definitely doing less than LOEN, right? She's an 840,000 damage. You know, LOEN is all the way at 1.1 million. You see if I can show you guys again, 1.1 million. However, I think the trade-off is worth it because Eclipse is not just a main DPS or material, right? She's more of a sub DPS that also can buff SP. Now, what is buffing SP? What is this buff SP thing, right? SP is very useful, especially in a scenario where you need the battles to last multiple turns, multiple rounds, obviously, right? So let's give you guys a scenario. For example, we use Venaka right here, and then we use LOEN right here. Alright, so you can see I have 1 SP left. Alright, so this is going to be very, very important. So I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna hit with everyone. I'm gonna use Venaka. Okay, use LOEN. And then... So as you can see, Eclipse gives us back some SP. Alright, that means in round 2, we will be able to use some skills again. So you can see, right, now we can use our skills still. Characters that have multiple costumes, now they have the benefit. Oh, now my Venaka can use this skill. Compared to if I don't have the SP generation, she won't be able to do that. So I feel like this is something that right now in the... Now, is there any other character that can do what she does? So she's called a battery unit. For those of you who are new, any character that give you SP is called battery units, right? Skill points are very important, especially if the battle lasts for several rounds. Now, there are a few other characters that can do that, but Eclipse is also a sub DPS that she has a pretty big range. She can do quite a lot. She can also help you stack chain with that particular thing in mind. Another character that can sort of like, I would say sort of counts under meta, that can sort of do that, is going to be Austin right here. Alright, Austin, is it this particular costume? It's not this costume, but it's the other costume, which is this particular one. Alright, so as you can see, for each enemy hit, ally SP increased by 3 points and enemy SP decreased by 3 points. And he has pretty big range. Now, the truth is, Austin is probably going to be lacking in damage, alright, as you can see, unless you are willing to like max potential liberate him, then maybe it's cool, alright, he is a 3 SP character after all, but I feel like Eclipse is going to, I like Eclipse Tile's range more. You could probably get away with using Austin, alright, if you want to like +5 her and potentially liberate him, what did I say, him, right, but I feel like Eclipse has the potential because of that, alright. She also had very good in terms of debuffing the enemy's you know, skill as well. So she also does something extra. As you can see right here, she not only decrease SP, alright, for each enemy hit, increase your SP, and also decrease enemy's SP, she can also apply this magic resist by 20%. Again, very good, and her damage is better than Austin's one. Alright, in my humble opinion. So she also has 2 other costumes, which is very good. She used to be the top dark type magic DPS, and I still think she is, right? Although we got Levia, which is a physical type, but she still is going to be one of the better ones. So she's basically like a jack of all trades, and you know, I definitely can vouch for her as someone that did pull her +5 last year. Alright, so now she's rerunning here. I can guarantee you she has never left my team in any PvE scenario. Alright, whenever there's a PvE scenario, alright, maybe Fin Hunter here and there, but if you're talking about like Tower of Salvation, I use her a lot. If you're talking about like any of the story campaign, very hard, I use her, and she is insane. Alright, she's been carrying me in a lot of situations. Getting the SP cost is going to be so good. Not many characters can do that, right? Aside from her and Austin, there are 2 more lower rarity characters that can do that. Number 1 is going to be Fred, which is this guy right here. Alright, I used to use him when I first start out the game. Pretty cool. You can see ally SP increased by 4 points. He used 1 SP, so you get 3 points, right? He can also knock back 1 character. Another one is Layla. Layla is a little bit tricky to use because she requires you to hit a lot of the characters, if I'm not mistaken. So for each enemy hit, ally SP increased by 1 point. Okay, so and she is a cross tile. If only she's a 3x3 tile, she will be a much better character. Plus she's a very fun character as opposed to Skip as well. So that's going to be a big problem. So with that, if I have to decide in terms of priority order, who should be, let's give you guys a summary, right? I've been yapping for so long, but I hope the explanation makes sense of why I think Eclipse is going to be better overall. She's definitely much more versatile. You are going to use her more often than LOEN. LOEN, you're only going to use her in a scenario where you need a fire DPS, right? She is a DPS character. The thing with DPS character is their element matters. And if in some situation where the boss resists that particular element, I mean not resists, but the boss is weak against other element, you tend to like swap her out for someone else. But Eclipse being an SP generator or battery unit, she will be more versatile than that because her job is not to do damage. Her job is to be an SP generator. So therefore, her usefulness is going to come in more than none if you are talking about comparable between these two. She's very useful in PvE, alright? Not to say that LOEN is not. LOEN is also going to be very useful, but there's just a lot of other competition actually, to be honest, right? LOEN needs higher dupes for sure because she is a DPS character. So if you only +1 her or +2 her, I feel like she won't realize her max potential. So if you want to get her, she's fine, alright? Get her to +5. But Eclipse, you can get away with +1, +2. Also, I mean, I would still advise you to go higher if you can, right? Because her damage is still really high, alright? Eclipse damage is still kind of decent. But it's just you can see, every single upgrade of hers is going to give her the increase right here, right? 95%, +1 is 120, +2 is 145, 170, 195, and 220, right? So yeah, if I can consider that as an option, definitely going to be something that's very important. One more thing about Bunny LOEN is a cooldown. I think that's a bit too long. Whereas for Eclipse, there are some situations where 5 turn is much more manageable. You can cycle through much easier. And if you hit a lot of enemies, that SP is going to last you for a few turns. Alright, so something to consider. As for Celia, sadly, outclassed by Rafitia. But if you want to get her up to +1, that's my advice, right, within this particular one. So in my humble opinion, priority should go to Bunny Eclipse. Alright, if you can only pick one, definitely I would highly recommend her. LOEN, she's cool, but I'll place her second priority, and then Celia in third. Hopefully you guys get the better idea on the perspective of, you know, the overall characters. So, you know, if you guys asking me, because a lot of you guys are asking me, who should I pull, who is going to be better. So hopefully I give you guys as much information as possible. This is going to help more of you guys out there. So some of you guys, maybe you're thinking, oh, you're lacking in DPS, you're lacking in battery unit. Maybe there's some of you guys out there, alright, probably super rare. Some of you guys out there, 3 of you guys out there, maybe watching this video will be like, oh, I have this guy at +5. And I like him. I like Austin, he's cool. That's fair. Alright, in that case, LOEN is probably going to be better for you because you already have a character that can, you know, be a battery unit. But for most other players, you're here for the waifus, then you didn't build Austin, then I'm going to say Eclipse. She is going to be the one to go for. Alright, so with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video, guys. Make sure you guys... Oh, one more thing. I see a misconception going on around. There's this golden thread thing, alright, going on around right now. I need to do a separate video for that. My god, this video is too long. My apologies, guys. I don't want to make the video too long, but there's just a lot of things, right? I want to get my thoughts out. This particular thing. A lot of people, there's a misconception of people. I mean, I wouldn't say they're spreading misinformation, but it's just maybe unintentionally. People are not aware of how this thing works. This is a selective costume enhancement. You can use this to +1 your costume, but limited costumes cannot be used right here. Alright, you can see all these characters are only for standard banner. So this time we get one extra one, you can see, for 1.5 anniversary. But every single month we will have one of these by default. Alright, so keep that in mind. There are some people that say, oh, I just pull for one limited character, I can use the rest to get here. No, you can't. This is not going to work for limited characters. Same for Powder of Hope. Alright, so hopefully you guys are aware of that now. Okay, so with that being said, that's gonna be it for this particular video. Subscribe, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.